Okay, so it's Sunday morning, new tournament, buff booster, 5 star with no darks. Oh, I have a strong autofill team. I'll put in the team in place and come back. So I'm back. So this is the team that I'm going to put up. I added a few emblems because I don't use Kara so often, but I feel over here she will be absolutely brilliant and useful. So obviously the taunt works, 4 turns. There's a defense that she gets for herself, and the allies get attack up, and there is for all holies a 10% defense. So all that adds up. This is where it's very useful because even though there is no dark, the attacking team will have elemental and regular defense down, so that should help. And each time a buff is dispelled, and there will be a buff dispelled, so mana gain, which keeps her rolling. And I know the frustration once she starts rolling. So that's that. Flanked by Wolfgang. We all know what he does. I would have loved to put Quinel, but I had to take a decision between Quinel because then this activates with 2 heroes, 35% chance to make the cast buff indispellable. It's still a 35% chance. So he hits all, reduces damage for the self, and gives boosted health. So he is going to double up as a healer. For the defense team, feel Al-Nadaha is more valuable for obviously the damage to 3, and it's the second portion of her special that plays Havoc, where she just shuts off the buff, and any attempted buff is penalized by 200 damage. I've seen some real stalwarts pop. And obviously this comes into play, 70%. So she's going to dispel all the dispellable buffs from enemies. There's a 50% chance, and 50%, and then that activates 70% damage to all. So I'm expecting that. It really comes in handy. So she is a better option because she dispels, she stops buffs, she penalizes buffs, and a lot of things which Quinel doesn't do. And then it was a toss between pulling Al Nadahai a little bit into the flank because this dude is very fast. Otherwise, I wanted him closer to the tank at flank so that he fires faster. The dark enemies is irrelevant because they're not available, but for the ice, nature, and the fire fellows, there is an ailment to disempower them. So I thought that he can fire from the wing also. So that's that. And I would want Al Nadaha. And then, of course, it was a question of who I want firing first. And then I would prefer Al Nadaha to fire first because then she can stop some key buffs from happening. She actually really creates a mess many times. So that's the reason for Yakun going onto the wing. I limit broke him for the war defense to try and see how it goes, and I see a lot of value in him after having used him for roughly about 3-4 weeks now or more, because not just those customized ailments for each element, those tiles that he creates, per turn after a few turns are delivering 5 tiles, delivering 20 each, which means it's 100 HP per turn being whacked from the opposite team, and that is fantastic. So yeah, and going to the right wing is Alucard. I'm expecting some minions to come in, So he will come into play as a healer, but if minions are not brought in, then I'm just, expecting some, minions to come from the talent. I keep forgetting. Yeah, druid talents. That always one minion also helps. But all that aside, I think him doing a direct damage of 250 itself is huge, and he cuts across buffs, so bypasses defensive buffs, including counterattacks. So that will also be useful in case, because everybody's going to bring buffs so into play. So that is, any hero that bypasses buffs is welcome and useful. So that's the rationale for my team. What do you think? How does it sound? I did contemplate if I can put, say, an ice hero, but I just couldn't come up with one strong one. So I felt this combo, Yakun is important, and I need the heal of Wolfgang, and I want to use Kara. I haven't used Kara so much, so I might add a few more emblems during the day to strengthen her. But the node at which I am, it's sword and shield, which if it was shield and health, I would have immediately done it because that reinforces her. But I'm not so keen to, spend emblems for a sword on her. So if I'm going to use her, I mean, a little less HP doesn't matter to me, or a little less stat doesn't matter. So I'm going to leave it at that. Um, that's efficiency talking in me, miserly efficiency. They both contradict each other, those terms. I hope you're having a good equalizer war. I've done my 3 hits. I have 3 more to do. Having said that, and yeah, I wish you a nice Sunday ahead, and see you in the next video. Cheers.